Cool. Last game. It's a Monday night game, neutral in Florida, but it's in Orlando, so it's not a home game for the Seminoles. They're laying currently now like 4.5 just about everywhere. A couple fours left. It's a game I lined 3.5, so there isn't much of an edge. Betting the side there. I guess the intriguing part, other than it's just I think two top 15ish teams. Florida State could be top five even. Francois, Deondre Francois, the quarterback for Florida State. Word is he's going to be legit. He's a talent, Jameis Winston esque. We'll have to wait and see. They have the advantage of handing it off to Dalvin Cook in an offensive line that returns all five starters. That already was one of the best. I think he was the best running back in the country last year. It was a shame he didn't get invited to the Heisman ceremony. He averaged the most yards per carry, ran for the most yards. I think he will this year. So that was one of my Heisman bets. I made two, and him at 15 to 1. Um, yeah, it was 15 to 1, and JT Barrett was the other one at 16 to 1. If you care, that were my two Heisman bets, and so I think they're going to rely on him often. And with Francois, we'll see what we get. And Ole Miss is, Chad Kelly's a fantastic quarterback. He's beaten Alabama twice. I mean, he can obviously win any game. Getting 4.5 with that seems kind of enticing. I'm going to stay away, wait and see what happens. Kind of need to really just gauge, how good this Francois kid is. If he isn't very good, Ole Miss is going to win the game. If he is, Florida State's probably going to go to the national championship. I mean, it's that much of a gap as far as what we might learn from this week one matchup. So I'm intrigued as hell as a fan. If I had to make a play, I know I've said this in a few games, but it's true. I think I lean there generally, probably in a lot of these toss-ups for week ones, just because teams start slower typically, and you'll see that with new offenses or new personnel. And so at 57, I believe still the current number. Um, with Aguirre not being the quarterback, it's Francois. It's a freshman. You're going to be handing it off to Cook so often. Florida State's defense brings back a ton. Ole Miss, they're a team. I don't know if people remember. I mean, the defense of Florida State brings back 6 or 7 starters, and they were a fantastic unit last year. So they're going to probably be only a little bit better. And Ole Miss 2 years ago, I think they had top five, at least top 10 defense in the country. Last year they dropped off a little bit. I expect them to kind of get back into that. I know Chad Kelly and the offense they're running is kind of spread it out, and they put a little more pressure on the defense because they're on the field more. But they were younger last season, and I expect Ole Miss's defense to jump back, not to top five, top 10 they were 2 years ago, but they're going to be a lot better than maybe people are expecting entering 2016. So with that, with the fact that Florida State's going to try to slow the game down and run it with Cook so often, it could be effective. But even effective running games, they're running clocks. So 157, it seems a tad high. It's interesting because I said that about the Notre Dame Texas game in the last video. If you missed it, it's a Sunday night game, the Texas one I believe against Notre Dame, and then this is the Monday night game. It's tough not to just like, well, how's the word? It, I'm not 100% right reading markets, but in those kind of prime time where it's the only game on TV games, and a lot of people are probably betting points, betting the overs, it's better probably just to wait and see, plan under closer to kickoff. So that's my angles on those two. Might not end up being official plays for me, but if I did end up making them so, they're going to be close to kickoff and right before game time.